All right, we're doing it. Just not into it. All right, guys, welcome back to Canon Things. And let me just tell you, this is my third time. Third time is a charm, I guess. I'm fingers freaking crossed, okay? Because yesterday we filmed this, edited it beautifully. It was all done. just things went wrong with the storage and everything on my phone. So that's great. But here we are, we're doing it again. Hopefully this time everything works out. Obviously, if you're watching this, it worked out. So look at the special guest here, the newest member. The newest one, huh? Little chunky monkey. Little squish. You say the word and I'll take you out. Just say the word. She's thinking about it. All right, so basically I'm gonna give you a little brief taste on my pregnancy, just like a little info update, whatever you want to call it, and then we're gonna jump right into the birthing story. So with this one, my pregnancy was very similar to my first. It was just a little more intense. Basically, like, I had the nausea, and it was super bad at the beginning, and then second trimester it let up a little bit, third trimester, bam, came right back. So it was the same thing with this pregnancy. It was just the nausea was more intense, and because after I was pregnant with my first, my abs never reconnected, and there's actually a term for that. It starts with a D, I believe. And there's a ton of workout exercises or whatever you can do to reconnect them. And it being my first, I had no idea this could happen. I just honestly thought like everything was gonna go back to normal, stomach was gonna go down, I was gonna be normal, you know? But everyone's different. Because everyone that I saw my age, they just went back and looked like they never even had a freaking kid. So I'm just like thinking, you know, same here. No. My abs didn't go back. My stomach, because of that, my stomach was a little off. Like, I had a little bit of loose skin and I looked a little bloated all the time. And when I would exercise, like, I wasn't doing the workouts to bring my abs back together. I was just doing normal workout, just regular, my everyday workout. And like whenever I would move up or do like an ab workout, I would see a bridge like in the middle of my stomach and it would sink in because they never went back together. So, do you want to get out, mamas? Okay. Let's see, I'm a little chunky, so it's a little hard to get out. Okay, you want to sit on mama's lap? Is that better? Is that a little better, mamas? So, because of that, this pregnancy, it was a lot harder on my body. My stomach was a lot lower and I was in extreme pain. Like, it felt like she was like so low in my stomach. Like, it just was so painful. Whenever I would walk towards the end, like, it just hurt. Like, I just could not walk. Like, I would barely walk down the hallway, like, towards the end. And I asked for to be induced. I asked for it because I couldn't do anything. Like, we live on the 3rd floor. It was way too hard going down 3 flights of stairs. Like, just doing anything in general was just super, super difficult. So, the doctor told me that they try not to induce before a week before, they usually induce a week from your due date, but she did it a day after my due date. She said they don't want to do it too early because usually that will that would end up in an emergency C-section. So she was like, here's what I'll do for you. I'll do it the day after your due date. So we did that. And let me just tell you guys, because I was so low, she was not a big baby at all. Not a big baby at all. In fact, when she came out, she was as big as Kaya. They were both 7 pounds and 8 ounces. And Kaya was a petite baby. Like, she's chunky now, but she was not a big baby. So everyone that was like, are you sure you're only having one? Like, you're how far from your due date? Stop it right now. No pregnant woman wants to hear that. It's not sweet. We don't like it. Whether you're trying to be rude or not, we do not like it. Okay? So just tell your friends. But so we got scheduled to be induced, or I was getting induced at 6:30 a.m. I believe. So we live about an hour away. So we woke up at like 4:50 or something like that. And you have to call them before you leave the house. So I called them and they did not have a room available, unfortunately. So, and we weren't really sure like what to expect. We weren't sure if they were gonna call back in 30 minutes, if they were gonna call back in a couple hours. So I was like, should we really go back to sleep? I feel like if we try to go back to sleep, they're gonna call us like as we're falling asleep, you know? Like, I just feel like it's pointless. So I was like, let's go to Waffle House that's literally right by our house. And sure enough, right after we got our food, they call, okay, we're ready for you guys to come now. So I was like, okay, great. We're finishing our food and then we'll be on the way. Shovel that down, and then we're on the way to the hospital. Everything's gonna run smooth. Everything's gonna be good. Let's just keep a positive note on this morning. So basically when you go to get induced, just anticipate you're not actually getting induced until like probably at least an hour after like they schedule you to be there. So I don't remember exactly when we got there because we did get there a little later than planned. She might be getting hungry. My baby hungry. Is she hungry? But you have to go check in, you have to fill out a little bit of paperwork, and then they take you to another area. They take you like back to where the rooms are, but it's like a little part in the hallway where they like have to weigh you. A nurse comes and weighs you, then takes you to your room. And so once we got to the room, you know, we're chilling in there for a while. They said, like, once they gave me the Pitocin, I think that's what it's called, I was just moving along. I think I went in and I was already dilated 2 centimeters. I think I was dilated 2 centimeters for about a couple weeks. But nothing else was happening. It wasn't moving along. So I was moving along nicely. I don't think I asked for epidural until I was about like 5 or 6 centimeters. I know this time I waited a lot longer. So the first time I was 4 centimeters and I could not take it anymore. This time I knew what was like I was getting myself into. I was way better at the breathing technique. Does it completely help? No, it's gonna still hurt, but I feel like it did make a difference. Being like deep breaths, I feel like I handled it a lot better. Mamas, it's all right, it's okay. We're gonna party anyway. Ooh, ooh, do, 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 do. Shake the booty, ooh, ooh. Shake the booty, ooh, ooh. Shake the booty. Oh, squishy butt. I love her. I love her. Look at the tummy. Look at the tummy. Guys, 12-month pants, 12-month shirt. Just saying. Just saying. So where was I? Yes, I was moving right along. I was about 5 or 6 centimeters. They came and did the epidural. Only worked for half of my body. They were like, let's wait a little bit, see if it trickles to the other side. Time goes on, did not trickle to the other side, was feeling all the pain over there still. So they had to come and place a new one, and that went beautifully. Everything was numb, everything was good, was not feeling a pain in the world. It was just chilling. And then gets to the point where it's slowly wearing off. Like, I'm starting to be able to like feel my feed again and stuff like that. So I'm like, great, I hope it just doesn't wear completely off, because don't want that to happen at all. We don't want to feel it. We don't want that. So, hey, Missy, hey, what's the dealio? I feel like you ate not that long ago though, princess. All right, intermission. We are back. I don't know why I just screamed. I don't know what it is. It's when every time I like try to record, this one wants to get a little fussy. I think she's kind of tired. Not quite sure. She's having trouble going to sleep on her own, so it's been a little bit of a struggle bus. I did forget to mention, the second time when they fixed the epidural, my water broke. So after that, I think they checked me like once to see how far along my cervix was. I think it was at 8 the last time they checked me. And they didn't want to keep checking because once your water breaks, you can get bacteria up there if you continue to check. And I actually did tell her once that I was like, I got the same feeling that I got right before I had to start pushing for Kaya. It just feels like a ton of pressure, and you're not supposed to push unless they tell you to. So it's like so much pressure that it's like you have to hold it so like nothing happens, kind of. And I had the same feeling, and she was like, are you sure? Because I just checked you a little bit ago. You were 8 centimeters, and I don't want to, we don't want a bunch of bacteria getting up there, so I don't want to continuously check you. And I was like, okay, I'll just wait a little bit. And she was like, we can try some different positions, and that could move things along, because I only had 2 centimeters to go. So we tried all these different positions, and before we tried the positions, I had what it's called a bloody show, which that's what you have before you have to start pushing. So I wasn't too far off, but I think the positions might have like, I don't know, it made something happen, because after that, like a little bit after that, my doctor came in to check on things and make sure everything was good and rolling and all that good stuff. And that's when everything just hit the fan. It was just like chaotic in there. They weren't really telling us what was going on. They were just kind of like freaking out on the spot. She was like, go get the ER ready. Is it OR or ER? Go get the OR ready. Go get the OR ready. And she kept telling them that. So basically they were like, we can't find a heartbeat. That's the only thing they told us. They could not find a heartbeat for the baby. So I was freaking out, because I was like, what is going on? Like, they're like just freaking out. And then they're pushing me out of the room like so quick, just whipping me out of there. And so I'm like starting to cry, because I'm like so confused at what happened in just like a split second, you know? Dylan's just standing there like watching them wheel me away quickly, and he's like, you know, like we don't know what's going on. And so they take me to the OR, which is not far from our room at all, put me on the table, throw a sheet up, and just bam, right then and there, and just start like cutting. And mind you, my epidural was wearing off, but at this point it had worn off more than when I said before, when I started feeling it in my toes. The time had passed, so it had been gradually like wearing off more. So, and I had to say that at least 3 to 4 times before they put me to sleep. They were like, no, you'll just feel pressure. And I'm like, no, I'm feeling pressure, but I'm also feeling pain. She's taking things out of me, and my epidural has worn off. Like, I'm feeling this. And they finally put me to sleep. They did give Dylan stuff to come in the room, like that whole like blue outfit that they give you, like to put the hat thing and then the body thing and all that, to come in the room. But because they were putting me to sleep, what are you looking at down there? What's going on? Because they were putting me to sleep, they don't let your spouse come in, your partner, spouse, whatever. They don't let them come in. So next thing I know, I'm like in and out of sleep in this room that they take people that have C-sections, I guess. Once they're done, they have to like, the nurse has to like do like a bunch of like paperwork online or something on the computer. She was just filling stuff out, and I like, kept going in and out of sleep, and I was still so exhausted from the medication that I was like imagining them, like the nurse and Dylan saying stuff, and I was like answering, but they weren't saying anything. Dylan's like, what are you talking about? And I was like, didn't you say da da da? I don't even remember what I thought like was being said. But I was just like, I was trying to force myself to stay awake, but I couldn't, because I wanted to like know what was going on. I wanted to know where my little muffin was. I wanted to know if he got to see her and all that stuff. But I don't think I completely woke up until we were like back in the room. And they take you to a different room, by the way. Like, you give birth in one room, and then they take you to a different room where you have to stay for like a couple days before you go home. And I'm in there, and I'm so excited I get to see her finally. My little chunkers. But you weren't chunky then, were you? No. Say no, Mama. Hey, you okay? Oh, okay, chunkers. My squish. But I asked Dylan, I was like, you saw her before they took her away in the NICU and all that stuff, right? And he was like, yeah. I was like, whew, good. We don't need another, well, not we, but like in general, because I know this has happened. I don't know if it's happened at our hospital. I don't know. I've heard stories. I've watched movies based on true stories, okay? People have gotten switched at birth. People have stolen babies. Like, they only take them away in an NICU if there's like something like wrong, which she ended up being okay. Everything was good. She didn't have to be in there for that long. But yeah, that was my like concern. I was like, oh my goodness. But I mean, look at her. She looks just like him. So no worries, right? But he pretty much had to do everything because that C-section wrecked me. Like, when I tell you the process of overcoming this C-section and just recovery, ooh, mamas. I pray that if I have another one, I do not have to go through that again. And I don't know if you're more likely to have to if you've already had one, and that scares me to death because I don't know if I want more kids or not, but I mean, no time soon. But just thinking about having to go through that again, it literally, like, so after you give birth, or maybe I'm the only one, I just feel disgusting, you know? Like, you were sitting on all these fluids. Like, I just want to hop in the shower. And after I had Kaya, I was in pain. Yeah, I had a few stitches down there, you know? But nothing like this. Let me tell you, girlfriend. I got in the shower, and they have a little seat in there, and I didn't have to use that after having Kaya. Like, they give you a water bottle, and you just, like, squirt down there. But besides that, like, everything, like, feels normal. It hurts a little bit to stand up, but you can like still move around, you know? Not the case. Had to sit on the stool in there. Feel like I didn't really even get clean, so I was like, this was not satisfying whatsoever. So yeah, it just literally felt like my stomach was paper thin and all my guts were just like sitting there. And it was very painful. He changed every diaper of hers. Pretty much all I did was try breastfeeding her while we were in there. Just because I didn't breastfeed with Kaya, I feel like I didn't get enough information with breastfeeding because they have someone come in and talk to you. I feel like this time around I got way more information. It was way more like clicked. It just clicked better this time around. So that was the only thing I could do because she had to eat, you know. Like, I like could barely get out of bed. It was just so painful. So he definitely helped me out a lot with that. And then she was born the 17th. We left the 19th, which is your dada's birthday, right? 2 days apart, my little Leos. But they were like, are you sure you want to go? Like, you're able to, but are you sure you want to, or do you want to stay? Because they knew I was obviously in pain, but like, just if I needed any more information or whatever. And I was like, no, I'm ready to go. I want to go home. I want to be comfortable in my own bed. And girl, I had to sleep sitting up for 4 weeks. When I got out of bed, Dylan had to stand there and like help me, like pull me up, and literally like every time for like a week I would cry getting up just to walk those 2 steps to the bathroom. So painful. Literally stayed in bed almost my whole 6 weeks, except for when he started going back to work. I had help here and there, but I was like slowly getting out of bed more. Wasn't supposed to pick up Kaya. I mean, some days I had to once he went to work, because I mean I was the only one here. So, but yeah, it was really tough. Literally could not do a thing for myself, and that is just not up my alley. Like, I do not like sitting there. I am like cleaning or doing something. I don't like just sitting there. It drives me nuts. So it was really hard, and it was especially hard not being able to pick Kai up because I would try to explain, but she's 2, you know, so she was having a tough time with it, and it just broke my heart. Definitely hard having a toddler and a newborn when you're coming home and trying to recover. With my firstborn, with my first pregnancy, I feel like obviously the recovery was way easier, but I can't remember, like, I feel like it was only a couple weeks and I was fine, you know? Like, I mean, it hurt to stand up a little bit. Like, I mean, I was like kind of in pain, but it was nothing like this. Nothing like this. I mean, and I don't know, I know regular C-sections, obviously the recovery has to be really similar, but I don't know if they're more aggressive because she was like, you know, like, I don't know if it was just a little tougher on my stomach because they were so like aggressive, because it was like an emergency. They had to do it like ASAP or what. But let me tell you guys, I don't know if I'm being dramatic. Some people may think I am, but that experience was so scary. Like, before they put me to sleep, the only thing that was going through my head was, what if I don't wake up? Like, and I know people are put to sleep all the time for surgery. Like, I don't need those comments, okay? Because not long before, someone I know passed away, and then she had to have a C-section. She passed away before the C-section, but it just made me, she also had heart problems, but it just made me, I don't know, I was just in my head, and I was having super bad anxiety, especially when they didn't even tell us what happened. Oh, I didn't tell you guys, Dylan did tell me that eventually they did say my placenta ruptured, and he said there was a lot of blood after, like, they said the blood he showed, there was like way more blood after that. That's why they had to like get her out, and they couldn't find her little heartbeat. But look at her, so healthy, eating good. Ooh yeah. Why are you looking like that, Miss Sassy Pants? She's spicy today. You spicy? You feel a little spice? Feel a little spicy spice? But I'm just thankful that she is healthy, that I'm okay, we're all okay, that's all that matters. But yeah, it was, when I think about it, a little traumatizing, just being real. And I pray if I do have another one that I don't have to have a C-section, but I just don't know the odds. I don't know how that works. I know I will not ask to be induced because I don't even want to risk it. But that's pretty much our story, right? That's pretty much what happened for you coming Earthside. I'm so happy that you are okay, you're healthy, you're good. But that's pretty much it. And I appreciate you guys watching and tuning in to my story. Yeah, and I really am trying to get back in the swing of things, back to uploading. I have had a tough time with the postpartum anxiety and depression, and whenever I'm not feeling good mentally or physically, it makes me not like motivated whatsoever. Like, I have been wanting to make a couple videos, and I'm just like in my head and just in a down place, and I know I need to push myself. I need to do better. So here I am, and I'm gonna be trying to make more videos. I actually just ordered a new phone because this one has literally no space. I keep deleting stuff and there's still no space. I'm like, so basically it's a scam because the 64 gigabyte used to be bomb, and now it can't hold a few pictures. Like, what's the deal? You know what I mean? But off topic, I appreciate I appreciate you guys watching, and like, subscribe. Yeah, see my hand. And stay tuned for the next video. You wanna say bye to the people? You wanna say bye-bye? You say bye-bye. Say bye-bye, see you next time. See you next time. Bye, guys. Bye.